And welcome to another episode of Ralston Live. I'm your host, John Ralston. Today, we are fortunate to have the guys from the band called High Noon. It's Scott Stevens and Steve Gallucci, and also Terry Tyson. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
So I missed you at the Sellersville Theater. How was that show?
It was a fantastic show, John.
Yeah, that was in January, right?
That was in January. That's our hometown. You know, we practiced just up the street here in Sellersville, and we've been trying to get in there for 2 years. We finally got in. We sold the place out in 6 weeks. We were really happy, and just a great night. Great
sellout. Wow, that's great.
For us, that was.
So are you done playing clubs, or you just going to do the big venues?
Well, pretty much. We're really, that's been the goal for us from the start. So we continue to grow. We continue to try to do our best that we were asked back, and we've been pretty lucky to this point. So really, that's the plan.
So Southern rock, how did you get involved playing Southern rock? I'm sure you could play other genres, but why Southern rock?
Well, I think we all grew up playing that genre of music. We probably individually have been playing it for 40 years or more since it was current, and it was the music of our high school years, I think it's safe to say, in the 70s, and we all loved it. We grew up, we cut our teeth as musicians playing that music.
Right, so Allman Brothers, Leonard Skinner, Marshall Tucker Band, Molly Hatchet, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much the big five, we like to call them. Those and the Outlaws. It's funny, everybody you talk to, you're going to get a different version of what Southern rock, who Southern rock is, you know. But we've got a rough agreement amongst the band of the artists we're going to play. We're trying not to play.
As long as you don't argue on stage. I guess that would be a good thing. But
I mean, we have people come up to us, you know, you should play the Atlanta Rhythm section. They're Southern rock. I'm like, well, so you should play the Eagles. Well, no, they're more, you know, it's
right.
California.
Yeah, exactly. But
Eagles might pass. I don't know.
So
but
a lot of opinions. But
everybody has one, right? Yeah. So on stage, you talk about the facts and the history of the genre.
We'd like to give so Don, our lead singer, does just a fantastic job with it. Terry does some of it too. Certain songs we're just trying to tell a little story. How did the song come about, or what happened? How did Greg Allman come up with the name Melissa for that song? You know, so we've done we're all Southern rock investigators, aficionados. You know, we know so much about these songs. And
do you ever just say Google it?
Well, we do Google it, and so it's just people. We get a lot of comments on that. People walk away with, you know, hey, I didn't know that about that song. I've been listening to that song for 30 years. Now I know what it's about, or what it, you know.
Yeah, we look at that as part of the show, part of the job that we're doing. We're trying to preserve this type of music for a new generation, and for those who are old enough to remember this music from those days. And we tell the stories that go along with the music, and it all happened in a very sort of a brief moment in time, arguably from 1969 to sometime in the late 70s. You can argue about when maybe it ended, but it was a period of time in musical history, and we're just trying to keep that alive as best we can.
Now, you guys are all really good musicians. I've been out to the clubs to see you guys, and
Thank you.
How important is it to you to stay authentic to the music? Because I hear you making a lot of effort to really hit every note.
You know, it's to us, it's like the most important thing. Terry and I when Terry joined the band 4 years ago, we spent a year working on the material. And a lot of it was just Terry and I with the guitars. And we still do to this. We'll spend 20 minutes trying to get that one note right in this little part of the solo that I'm relatively sure almost nobody else realizes.
Right.
We just played this note instead of that note. But it's just really satisfying that people come up to us. And actually, I shouldn't say, a lot of them do recognize that kind of stuff. And
if you see me just sitting still, that's because I'm looking you guys over, and I noticed that about the band. You really try and keep everything tight.
Yeah, we spent a full year rehearsing before we even played out. And it's funny because we'll go back and, like Scott says and Terry, we'll rehash the minutest of detail. But I think that Southern rock is...
Minutest, I'm going to write that.
Yeah. My college degree
I know minutia. I'm Sorry, go
But
ahead.
yeah, you know, Southern rock is so personal to people, and I think that we do meet and greets after each show, right? And it's always so humbling to us listening to why it's important to the folks to come and see us, why how the stories bring back memories. And it's an amazing thing, and we certainly, for guys like us who've pretty much played in clubs most of our life, seeing that the reaction has been an amazing experience for all of us.
Well, I think your music and some of the older music, even heavy metal, some of the people that come out to see that, they're our age, so they've learned how to be polite. You know, so I guess that's what it is, right?
You know, that's funny you mention that, because we've played some places where I think the theater owner or whatever is worried that we're going to bring out a bunch of these rowdies that are, you know, rebels and Southern rock people, and they're just old men like me, you know what I mean? And they just love the music, and there's nothing rowdy about it. It's just very civilized, and it's very satisfying.
I talk to club owners, and I've talked to people like the Sellersville Theater, and they say the heavy metal things, the bar owners are all scared about them, but basically, you know, they're great people coming out to see these shows. Yeah. Do you have a lot of younger people just getting into the Southern rock?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, you exactly what I was thinking about when you were talking about the heavy metal thing, Sellersville Theater.
Right.
It's definitely generational. I think in keeping the music alive is critical for our kids to come and experience. You know, for our children, they've listened to, you know, Dad's music, and, you know, which may be Southern rock or maybe heavy metal. But for us, we want to continue to preserve the music, as Terry said, and that next generation is really important, being exposed to it.
Yeah, so all of you guys are from Sellersville?
Well, actually, I'm from originally more from like Lansdale area. Terry's from not around these parts.
I'm from Chicago originally.
Chicago.
I moved out here for work. It's been 7 years now.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
And I'm from upstate New York, and I am from Sellersville officially.
There we go. I knew somebody was.
So we've got one guy in the band. So Don's our only Southerner from the band, right?
That's right. He's from Tennessee.
Tennessee. So,
From Tennessee.
And that's who?
Don, our singer,
Don McCord.
flautist, master of all kinds of instruments.
You can see some videos of the band and stuff on their website. It's highnoonband.com and
High Noon Rocks.
High Noon Rocks.
It's a little confusing. Our website is highnoonrocks.com.
Hey, look, we made
at
a video.
that. our Facebook page is High Noon Band PA, because there's a couple other High Noon bands around. There's one in Illinois and in Australia and Lord knows where else. But we're better than those guys, right?
But we're easy to find. That's right.
Now, Elvis, I went to Memphis this year and saw all the Elvis stuff and the history of rock and everything. And a lot of these guys are deceased. Same in Southern rock.
Absolutely.
With Leonard Skinner and...
Yeah, Skinner's down to, one guy left in the band, the Allman Brothers. Of course, Greg Allman passed not too long ago. Molly Hatchet, there's one guy hanging on. So it's an interesting time. All these, the bands are soon. Allman Brothers stopped touring, and so we're trying to fill that void, right?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we've said in Terry and Don is the Southern rock forefathers looking down at us when we play, shining light on it and on our folks watching us, and so that's all part of keeping it alive. These guys are all passing on, and so Terry had the fortunate ability to talk to one of his Leonard Skinner heroes through Facebook, right?
Yeah, I was able to correspond a little bit with the late great Ed King from Leonard Skinner. And he was so gracious and kind. He took time to chat with me online multiple times, and it was really great. He's and it's often my job in our band to emulate his playing, and so so it was particularly interesting to get to talk to him and get his perspective.
What do you think it is about Southern rock? You think it's the emotional thing in the music?
I think for a lot of people, it's the lyrics and stuff. So we play some Skinner songs like Simple Man, and there's nothing that special about the music, but the lyrics, people just love it, and it touches them, and it means something to them, some of these songs. And Now, being a guitar player, certainly like the music, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think people consider, Ronnie a poet of sorts. I mean, he didn't write any lyrics down. I mean, it was all from the heart. That would amaze the band every time he'd come up with those lyrics, and they're true. And so, whatever force is working through him, it's really personal to folks who come and see us play. Like I said before, I mean, the stories that we hear are moving as far as what the music means to people.
Yeah, that's great. You have 3 shows coming up that I took off the website. This is Friday, March 27th at 8 p.m. It's at the Broadway Theater in Pitman, New Jersey. Have you been over there yet? Is your first time over there?
We played there last year in April. So when these theaters we're learning, you kind of play once a year maybe. You don't want to play less than that. And so we're excited to come back there to Broadway.
That's great.
It's a really nice 700-seat theater, and we're...
Nice.
John, these theaters are crazy good as far as acoustics, right? And as we're meandering through, we're looking at who's played there through the last 70 years, and Bob Hope is an example, right?
Yeah, right.
You're like,
Sellersville,
Yeah, we got a picture of you up there at Sellersville.
we look kind of good.
Yeah, I've been on that stage. I've announced a few bands over there. Let me know when you're over there. I'll come out on stage.
Absolutely.
we'd love you to do
that.
A live thing from there.
That'd be great.
The guys at the Sellersville they've got a top-notch audio thing, and the sound guys and lighting guys are just such a fabulous crew at the Sellersville to work with. We're finding that at all these places. The people are just like, we spent our whole life playing in bars, so we're used to, the guy we're dealing with, the bartender or whatever, to turn off the jukebox. This is a whole level of people that are just professionals, and everything just sounds so good. We can't believe our luck.
Yeah, they are pros.
Yeah, the typical angry sound man doesn't quite live in those venues.
Yeah, right? Yeah, no, they're all super nice at the theater.
Well educated and...
Yeah, so they know what they're doing. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, exactly.
Friday, May 29th at Trinity on Main Theater in New Britain, Connecticut.
This is an amazing room. This is a converted church, and it is ornate and beautiful. It has this gorgeous timber, multi-gabled underside of the ceiling that you see is exposed in the room, and it's just an absolutely unique, singular sort of venue to play in. And we had a wonderful time. We played there last year. And we're very grateful to have been invited back.
So how to get all the equipment up there? Big van? Now you got
back of Steve's truck.
Right? He's got a big truck.
Got a Pinto. It really depends on how far we play. I mean, if it's a long distance, we made a show up in Pittsburgh last year at the American Eagle Center, and so we rented some vehicles for that.
Wow.
But typically we're pretty much on our own at this point. We're usually about 4 hours in for gigs, so we get the stuff up there singly.
Yeah, or use UPS.
Right? Well, we try to bring a full show. We've got, as you can see from there, a bunch of amplifiers, and we're trying to.
Yeah.
That's great.
Some bands you'll see them playing. They just got a couple tiny little amps somewhere, which is fine. You can do that and still sound good. But we're still back in our 70s mode of, we got to bring out the whole show, and that's what we're trying to replicate, like Skinner does now.
You got the Marshall stacks out there.
Exactly. Scares the heck out of the sound man when we bring those things in. They tremble.
Yeah, they like to keep everything
keep
tight.
Them low.
You have Sandy Croxton as vocals and percussion. When did you add her? Because I haven't seen her in a show yet. I don't think.
About a year and a half or so. Sandy, we're pretty much all tied together through previous bands, and Sandy played in Treason a long time ago.
Treason?
Yep.
That's a local band.
Sandy played with us in Treason. We played all around the areas. Sandy's just a great vocalist, and we call her our secret weapon because she's singing backup on a lot of songs, but percussionist, and just everything she does is so... Just add such another element to the band.
Bob Varga on drums and Don McCord on vocal saxophone and flute. You got to have that.
If you're doing Marshall Tucker Band, you've got to have flute. And a lot of cover bands might do that with a keyboard patch, but we keep it authentic.
See, that's what I'm saying. You guys keep it authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just authentic, but we really strive to try to play it just like you'd remember from the original vinyl, the original studio recording. We really tried hard to get it just exactly like you remembered from high school, and maybe even from your 8-track or something like that.
Wow, and you guys are still friends. How about that?
Most of the time.
Well, we're not you could say we're definitely not a jam band. Like some bands
Right.
are playing Allman Brothers song, right? And that's
Right.
fine. That's what their
Well, that's
audience
part of
expects.
being a musician. You have to improvise sometimes,
But-
take some shortcuts and things, but you guys go the extra step.
But for most of the stuff, Terry and I are, we're learning the guitar solos right off the record
Painstaking,
and
yeah.
just trying to
Absolutely.
do the studio version versus the live version in a lot of cases. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, great bands start with chemistry as people, and so we're a team, and we're all part of have a singular focus. We work together, we care about each other, we love each other's families, and that's how beautiful music's made. That's where it all starts.
That's a big room at Christmas, huh?
Right? Yeah.
You should see Steve's house. He's got room for all of us. So.
Well, if you're my age, you have grandkids now too. So wow,
exactly.
that's a big room. Saturday, May 30th. Right after that, boy, that's a heavy week you're having here. 7:30 at the Rex Theater in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Our little New England tour there. We're going
Wow.
up to Connecticut one night, Friday night, New Hampshire Saturday, and the Rex is a new theater. Terry turned us onto that. And
Wow, that's something new then.
It is. That'll be a new one for us. As it happens, the company that I work for, my day job, we have a major office up that way, and I'm anticipating that we'll be able to generate some interest,
Some buzz.
that way as well. Yes.
Oh, that's great, and a free hotel.
That's the same.
Once again, the website highnoonrocks.com if you want to play along. Guys, it was great to have you on, and we wish you a lot of luck in the future. Let us know when you're playing around here, and we'll definitely promote it on our show.
Thanks for having us, John.
Oh, what do you
Appreciate
got?
it.
You got something in the bag over there?
We got a little show and tell here for you.
Oh, see, I could've wore that
something we
today.
brought for you, John. I'm gonna,
High noon swag.
You're official.
High noon
you're official
swag.
high noon
Y'all,
swag.
It'll show
y'all
if
are
you're
blessed
around
now.
You're gonna look
That's
good in
it.
that.
We got it here.
This
Yeah.
one's for John, but you can come
Okay.
get your own.
There we
Come
go.
see us.
How about on the John cam? There we go. High noon. Whoa. Well,
There you
see.
go.
There we go. High noon.
That's gonna look good on you, John.
It's Terry Tyson, Steve Gallucci, and Scott Stevens. Thanks for joining us on the show. It was my pleasure to have you on.
It was our
Thank
pleasure,
you, John.
John. Thank you.
Folks, when we come right back, we have more for you here on Ralston Live. You can visit us anytime at facebook.com/Ralston Live and visit PBR Productions. That's where we're filmed at pbrproductions.com.
My name's Kevin Roberts with Durham Hill Farm, and this is my wife Elizabeth.
Q&B has helped our brewery keep up with our brand.
Right now is the most exciting time ever to be in manufacturing.
Hey, hon, I think we're out of syrup.
All right, we can get some at the Q Mart.
That really understand what it is the vision is.
Penn Community Bank has engaged through financial contribution.
I'm Todd Peck, owner of TNT Amusement Center.
My name's Ben Sear. I work for Highline Off-Road. We do aftermarket Jeep parts.
What was it like with the Walk-Through History app?
To print stuff back in the day, you had to set each individual letter by hand.
Billing, dental hygiene, extractions.
He has a good wrestling mind. He's great with the talent.
We're the ones that go take care of them. People call us Ghost Fellas.